Everyone. Bonjour. What a wonderful day, bright and sunny. Today we have with us experts to talk to you about Teach English in France, an orientation info session about about opportunities to speak English in France. We'll be starting the session today with Dr. Jyoti Venkatesh, Dean and Chairperson, Center for Global Languages, will be welcoming our guests for the day.
Thank you, Shravya. Good morning. I didn't hear you guys. That's better. Hello? Yeah. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all for this unique session which we are having in BCU for the first time. And I hope this is not the first and the last time. Hope to have more such sessions and more students availing this opportunity, a wonderful opportunity which our guests will definitely be speaking about, and how you can make use of this opportunity to work in France. So I take great privilege in welcoming Monsieur Thomas Chaumont. He is the attaché for French language at the French Institute, French Embassy in New Delhi. He is of course located in Chennai. Miss Smriti Bawa, Project Manager, French Institute. Miss Fanny Brun, Course Director of Alliance Française, Bengaluru. Alain Anthony, student. He is one of the ones who had been to France as the English teaching assistant. And he's also from Alliance Française. And of course, Mr. Yash Thakkar, who is the manager, Campus France, Karnataka office. So I welcome you, all of you, to BCU. And without wasting any more time, I would like to just tell them that BCU is about 6 years old since it was inception after trifurcation from Bangalore University, the mother university. And we have about 23 PG departments, and that also includes the global language department. And we have also introduced recently the UG program in the university. And we also have a constituent college for women, where the girls also learn a foreign language as part of their curriculum. And French is one of the most popular language that they are learning. And so I feel this is a very unique opportunity for our students to explore this option, which is very rare. And it is a very unique program, and I will let the experts speak on it. And I think first we'll be starting from Mr. Chaumont. Okay. I welcome you all once again to BCU. Thank you for coming.
I'm from the French Embassy, the French Institute in India, with my colleagues. And we wanted to talk to you this morning about one opportunity for you that could really change your life, I guess, because you will be able to interact as well with Alan, who've done that this year, and he can give you his feedback about how it was, and I guess it was okay because he want to come back to France this year, so I guess he liked it a lot. If you don't speak French, I encourage you to consider it, of course, because basically our job is to promote the French language. We don't do that because we are French. We really strongly believe that the French language can be an asset for you as student. It's really a very important tool for to enter the job market in Bangalore. In Bangalore, you have no less than 100 French businesses in operation, and we found out that for Indian graduates, alumni, students, when you master the French language, you're more likely to find a job, and you will get a better salary, which is around 30% in average of compared to the other graduates. So it's really a great tool for employability for you. If you don't learn the language for that, you can consider it as a very nice gateway, bridge to a new culture as well, because as you know, learning a language is the best way to understand people who speak the language. So not only the French movies, cinema, fashion, gastronomy, but also all the wealth of countries that share with us our language. So you're lucky to have the Alliance Française Bangalore in your city, which is a great center to learn the language, the most official recognized one, and we encourage you to visit Alliance Française Bangalore, which is very close actually to this campus. So take the time to come by at some point. To come back to really today's topic, in a nutshell, this means that you, as students, you will have the opportunity to teach English in France because it's considered as, you know, one of the official language of India. And every year, more than 200 Indian students are going to France for a few months, for close to 7 months, I think. 7 months, right? In schools, primary and secondary school in France. So as you can imagine, it's, for most of them, it's the first job, the first opportunity to, you know, to really teach, to have a full-time job, to discover a new country in Europe as well. You will get paid for that, obviously. You will be financially independent, which is great. You might want to consider that also maybe as a gap year between your undergrad and your graduate studies. It's a perfect timing, I guess, to, you know, to do something else, to try out a new job, a new experience. You don't have to want to become a teacher to do that. It's perfectly fine if you're, you know, majoring in journalism, economics, law. I'm not sure about your major right now, but you might want to consider that as a fresh experience, to become a teacher for one school year, to meet new people, to meet French people, to be part of a huge network of assistants, foreign assistants in France. Among them, 200 are from India. So I'm sure you will find someone from Bangalore as well to share experience with. And please do consider that option. It's really a very good opportunity for you, I think. So I will let the floor to my colleague Smirti, who's the expert on the field, and we will be very happy to interact with you. So if you have any question, please do let us know. We came really, we have 5 people here to answer any question you might have. So this is the right time to do so. Smirti, you want to go into details maybe? Thank you.
Merci Thomas. Thank you so much. We have colleagues all over India, and Thomas is based in Chennai, and Fanny is at Bangalore, and I'm at New Delhi. So we came here to talk more about the program Teach English in France. And if you have any queries, we'll take up after the presentation. And so just give you some basic idea about the program. So this program is meant for students who are learning French and would like to teach teach English in France. So what all do you need to apply for the program? You should have a good level in English and a good level in French. So and you get a good, as Thomas said, you get a stipend, which is a good amount to survive in France during these 7 months in France. So the idea is that if you're selected, you meet all the eligibility criteria, you go to France for 7 months. So it's a contract for 7 months. And during these 7 months, you get around 800 euros in hand. And the assistants in France, they need to take care of the accommodation and manage their expenses themselves. So it gives you an opportunity to, you know, after the student phase, enter into first professional job and start your teaching or teaching career if you wish to. And after this experience, you can explore other opportunities as well. Like if you're a commerce student, a science student, later on you can figure out during these 7 months in France if you'd like to pursue higher studies as well in France. So there are many advantages. It gives you an opportunity to leave the student status and enter into a professional world. First step towards, you know, working and being in the professional domain. And second is, if you wish to pursue higher studies in France or somewhere else, it is the time to explore the opportunities. So you can give these 7 months as a yes. You can come in front. Yes. So these 7 months, you can take a chance and see, if you would pursue higher studies in France in the field that you like. And Yash is going to talk more about the higher studies. He can tell you how you can, look for courses and then apply through Campus France for higher studies later on. So I'll come back to the eligibility criteria to apply for the program. So the candidate should be in the third year of graduation or a graduate. So you are in the second year or third year of your third year, perfect. So if you're in the third year of your graduation, you can apply for the program, and all the preparation for the program is 1 year in advance. So, for example, the call for application begins this year in October 2024. You apply this year, and the intake is next year. Like you would go next year in September, like end September. The contract every year begins on 1st October and ends the following year in the month of April. So there is a batch that is going this year. They will start their contract on 1st October 2024 and they end their contract in April 2025. Okay. So we do help all the selected candidates with the visa process, and we help them, guide them with how to book the insurance, how to sort out their documents like birth certificate, and we do guide you throughout the application process and even after selection till the moment the candidate leaves the country. We are there for you, and the program is managed by France Education Internationale in France, and they have their office in Paris. So we have our colleagues there in France to help you in case something happens, or if you need any help there, we do have our team in Paris to help you. Okay, and the eligibility criteria is, yes, the candidate should be in the third year of graduation, and by good level in French we mean that you should have DELF B1. So, in French, like we have several levels of evaluation, certification, DELF A1, A2, and B1. So, this is B1. B1 level, I think when you have B1 level, you can manage to have some conversations in French. You can book your tickets, you can request for example, if you're lost somewhere, you can ask directions, etc. So, you are capable to manage and speak French in France. And you can book your tickets, you can go to the counter, you can order some food at the restaurants. These basic things you can do, and it is a good level in French, and we advise that you have a certain level so that you don't face any issues in France. So DELF B1, third year of graduation or a graduate, and good level in English, IELTS exam. So IELTS academic exam, you should take the IELTS academic exam and get 7.5 bands or above. So has anybody taken IELTS before? No? Have you heard about IELTS? IELTS. It's basically an exam to evaluate your English language skills. And IELTS is of two types. So first is IELTS General. General is more for immigration purposes, and IELTS Academic is for professional reasons. So people take IELTS Academic for job opportunities in a foreign country. So IELTS Academic and 7.5 bands or above. So we have candidates, we receive every year huge number of applications, and on the platform called Adel. So there's a platform where you need to apply. Everything is on the platform, and so we receive huge number of applications, and we have candidates who have 8.5 bands in IELTS Academic as well. So the priority is always given to the applicants who have higher scores. So yes, and the age criteria is the age should be between 20 to 35 years of age. So you should not be above 35 or above at the time of application. So there's a wide scope of applying in terms of the age criteria, and that's it. You should be an Indian citizen. I think you're all Indian citizen, So yes, that's it about the eligibility criteria. And do you have any other questions related to uh, the application procedure? Yes.
So if you are applying for this year,
Yes.
do you need to learn French before application or do you have time after application?
You should have all the documents when you apply. You should have the IELTS exam result in hand. You should have DELF B1 result in hand. Or if you wish to take DELF, like there are several sessions of DELF exam. Fanny is going to talk about it during the year. So there's one in December, there's one in September. So you can take the exam, and as soon as you have your result, you can apply.
When does
Yes.
to apply, when does it close?
Call for application begins this year in October and would close on 25th January 2025. So there is enough time. I think there are 2 DELF sessions in between if you wish to take DELF B1. Any other questions? Any other questions there? No? Yes.
We were talking about DELF exams.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Now the university also conducts equivalent exams.
Yes.
So we have the certificate level or the
Yes,
diploma level.
yes.
Would that be considered or
Yes.
is it only DELF?
We do accept BA French, and or DELF B1, any one certificate that you have. Like if you've done your bachelor's, you can still apply from any university. If you've done your BA French, you can apply. Yes. And sometimes students, they have questions related to health insurance, budget, and is the stipend sufficient in France? 800 euros if you manage, if you can manage your rent and you plan everything in advance. Like you can decide, I need 100 euros for food, I need 250, 300 euros for accommodation rent, and I need around 100 euros to travel. I think you should be able to manage. So, and something about the visa for this program, you get a Schengen visa. So Schengen visa allows you to travel all over Europe, and the travel is very comfortable, convenient, and you can take one bus. Like for example, you are in France, you take one bus from Paris, and by morning you are in Germany or in Switzerland. So the travel system is very quick, very convenient, and you can even get one Flixbus, I remember, for I think 10 euros, 7 euros. That's also possible, but if you plan everything in advance. So yes, that's possible. Yes.
Could you talk to them about the work hours? How many
Work hours, yes. So the assistant is supposed to work 12 hours per week. Okay, 12 hours per week, and you could be assigned 1 school, 2 school, or 3 schools. Completely, that would depend later on. And during your application, while creating your application, you can choose between what kind of school you would like to go to. Like, do you want to teach to primary kids? Do you want to teach to secondary level students? It is possible. Like, there are people who don't want to teach, they're not good in class with primary kids. So they might want to go and, they can select secondary level education, so that they would have students in college, lycée. So that is secondary level here in India. So it is possible. And in terms of cities, there are many cities in France. So you can choose, once you create your application, you can choose the different cities. If you are somebody who wants to go to the mountains, you can choose north of France. If you're somebody who wants to be near the coast, you can choose south of France. There are people who like cold, like they like cold weather, so they can choose north of France. And there are people who just want to enjoy the summer, so somewhere in south and middle of France. So completely depends on your choices. The application procedure is very convenient. It gives you a lot of options in terms of what kind of city you would like to stay in, and what kind of weather do you like, and what kind of classes do you want. And the idea is to work 12 hours per week with the group of English teachers who are already present in the school, and you would not have the entire class. as an English language assistant, you would have small groups, like to work on conversational and oral skills in class in English. Okay, so they have, for example, you would have a group of 10 students, and the idea is to work on English language skills. And the themes you can decide with the teacher, whatever the theme they are following in class, and create activities around it, take quizzes. So many options are there. Yes. Any other questions? Yes. 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 For accommodation, yes. The candidate needs to like find out an accommodation before the departure. And there are sometimes schools that they offer accommodation. So it is very easy. You like your coordinating teacher can help you and tell you, there's one accommodation available in the school itself. But that's rare. It is also possible that you might not find accommodation in the school. In that case, you can look for an accommodation online. There are many resources. Alan can talk about it. And so you can online book any accommodation near the school. And yes. And now Fanny is going to more talk about the DELF exam and French courses.
Bonjour. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Fanny. I'm the courses director of Alliance Française of Bangalore. Do you know about Alliance Française? No? Okay, so it's the one in Bangalore is in Vasant Nagar, but there are 14 centers in India, and there are many around the world. It's a well-known center where you can learn French, where you can learn about the French culture. So we offer different type of courses. So you can start your learning journey here. You can start learning French here in your university. You can choose French as an option, and then you can continue at Alliance Française. So as it was said before to you, there are 6 levels from there are A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. So to join this program, you don't need to complete all the levels. You just need to complete until B1, which is a 3rd level. And each level requires a different number of hours. So A1, A2 will need around 120 hours each, and then B1 will take maybe 6 months. So once you complete the B1 level, to join this program, you will need to take the DELF exam. We organize 4 sessions per year in March, June, September, and December. And if you don't know about the DELF, we organize a DELF preparation course. So if you have already reached the B1 level, but you're not sure about the exam, you can take one of these preparation courses to familiarize yourself with the exam and to be prepared to take it. So we organize different type of classes, online and offline, during the weekday, weekend. So I'm sure you can find a suitable course for you. We also organize different workshops, conversation workshops, games, songs. We also have movie screenings on Saturday. So all of this will help you to keep in touch with the language and to keep your interest also. And I think this is learning a language is always a good asset. And if you learn French, you will have good opportunities to study or to work. And joining this program will really help you to improve. Once you reach B1 level, you will have make a lot of efforts. You will have taken a lot of time to learn the language. So joining this program, it will be a great opportunity for you to use the language, to do something with it, and you will improve a lot once you come back, because in France, there's only one language, French, so everybody will speak French to you. So you will you will improve a lot when you come back. Yeah, so our center is in Vasant Nagar. You can come anytime to visit. Do you have any questions? Okay, merci, thank you.
My name is Alan, and I participated in this program. So I'll tell you a little bit about how I found out about the program. So just like you, I was a student sitting in a classroom and I had a French course. My French teacher told me about the program. So I was a little interested and I just decided to see how it goes. So then I looked it up online and then I read about what I need. So I decided to join Alliance Française. I decided to get a DELF. I decided to do my IELTS and then just apply. So I finally applied in 22 and I got selected. And in 23, I went to France for 7 months. So I went last year in September and I came back this year in May, mid-May I came back. So I will be very honest with you, it's an amazing opportunity. Let me tell you why. Because as Smriti said, you get a Schengen visa, okay? And that means you get to travel. And that's something that's not very easy to do, especially coming from India with an Indian passport, which is honestly not very powerful. It's something that's, it's an opportunity that you shouldn't miss, which is one of the main reasons why I chose to do it. Okay, so let me tell you about where I was placed and how my work went. I worked in a middle school, so I taught classes 6th to 9th, so students in grade 6 through 9. I was in a small town called Provins, which is an hour and a half from Paris. Okay, and as Smriti said, we worked 12 hours a week, which is not a lot. Okay, 12 hours a week is really not much. So what does that mean? That means you get a lot of time for yourself. And when you have a lot of time for yourself and you have a stipend and you're in a whole different continent, that means there's a lot to do. You get to travel everywhere. So 12 hours a week, that was distributed for me on 3 days. I worked on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. That's it. So I was off on Wednesdays, I was off on Fridays and the weekend. And I was only an hour from Paris. So you can imagine how fun that was for me. And there were 4 English teachers at the school. They were all French people teaching English at the school. I worked with all 4 of them. They would just tell me, they would just give me some instruction on what they would like for me to talk about with the students. They would say, maybe today can you talk about the food in India? And the students really loved this topic. I would talk about the food in India. I would talk about the infrastructure in India. I would talk about the festivals in India and everything in English. So that way the students, they get to practice English. They get to ask me questions in English. They get to listen to me speak in English while at the same time learning about India. And this is something I have to say. As an Indian going to France, you represent your country. And there was a feeling of pride there. I got to go to foreign land and represent my country, and I hope I did a good job. What else? About finding accommodation. There were some questions about how we can find accommodation. So after you apply, it's up to us, the assistant, to find accommodation. How I found accommodation was, honestly for me, it was quite easy. I got a contact number of a teacher at the school. I just emailed them and I said, I need help with accommodation. Do you know anyone? So then they looked around, they helped me, and then through contact, I found out that a school nearby had a building for employees, the assistants, the teachers, and they said that they can rent a place for me. So for me, that's how it went, but I know other assistants who found accommodation through Facebook. Facebook has a lot of groups for, to find accommodation, to find jobs and stuff like that. So Facebook is quite helpful as well. But then you do get a contact number from the school. So you can always reach out to them and ask them to give you any leads on accommodation. Budgeting, well, budgeting, I mean, that's a life skill. Everyone has to learn how to budget and manage your finances. And that's very subjective. It really depends on you. We get 800 euros, around 800 something euros as our stipend when we work as an assistant for the 12 hours that we do. And I would say it's quite manageable. I was able to manage my rent, my bills, like my phone bill, Wi-Fi, whatever bills. I was able to manage my food and travel. So during these 7 months that I was in France, I visited Spain, Germany, Italy, and Portugal. All of this with just a stipend. So it's possible. It just depends on what you prioritize. So money is not really a big hurdle. It just depends on your money management skills. Is there anything you want to know? Is there anything I'm missing out? I have a bachelor's in hospitality management, hotel management. So I'm actually not from the teaching background. This was something that I was doing for the first time. You don't have to be a teacher to do this program. So I'm not from any teaching background, nothing like that. I went there just to try this, give this program a shot. And there are some assistants who look out for opportunities to do a master's in France. That's not something I did, but there are assistants who do that. Apart from the work, what I did was, of course, experience the culture there. As someone who studied French in India, it's a really nice opportunity to go there and experience all of that you learn here firsthand. So you go there and you get to actually see people use the language naturally, not in a classroom setting. You get to go there and actually speak the language because you have to speak the language, not because you have to pass a test. So in that sense, there's a lot of cultural learning that you do through this program. So yeah.
Experience as an Indian in France.
Okay. My personal experience as an Indian in France. That's a good question. For me personally, if I have to be brief, I would say that the experience was good because France is quite diverse. There are people from many different cultures. So there are people of different skin colors. So if you're specifically talking about whether people were racist, in my experience, not really, no, they weren't. But in Paris, just in Paris, and especially because of the number of tourists, they're just not very hospitable to people who speak only English. That's just something I noticed. It has nothing to do with your skin color, it has nothing to do with where you're from. It's just that Paris receives so many tourists who are speaking English all the time that they might be a little cold if you speak nothing but English. But apart from that, in any other small town, wherever else I went, people were very nice. I didn't face any issues. And again, it's a very diverse country. There are people of different skin colors. So yeah, the experience was good. There were no problems. So I applied in 22, and I went in 23, and I came back in May of this year, sorry. So you have this option of renewing your contract a second time, which is what I did. So I decided to renew the same contract, and I'm going again next month. I'm going on the 22nd of September for another 7 months. And after this, will you find jobs? Well, that's a possibility. I mean, you would have to apply on your own. And I believe there are people who may have done that in the past. After going there, they did this program for 7 months, and then I believe they looked out for job opportunities. They applied. This has nothing to do with the program, though. This is on their own. They applied for jobs, and then they applied for a work visa, and that's a whole different thing. But of course, it's a possibility once you're there. If you look out for jobs, it's always a possibility, yeah. I would say yes, naturally, because one, you're already there, and you have some experience with the country, the people, the culture, the language. So of course, it would be beneficial than someone who has never been there and has only been in India and is looking out for job opportunities in a different continent. So if you are looking out for job opportunities in a different in France, of course, it would look better on your profile since you have some experience there. Yeah, and for example, like now I'm in India, and when I come back after the second program, this is the second contract, my profile will say that I have worked in France for 14 months, which is of course an added benefit, and it would look good on my profile. So if I'm working in the teaching field or in the French field in India, then of course I think I would have some preference, some kind of preference, because I've spent time in France.
Much for being here. We will definitely try to keep it short, but I think the program that they have spoken about is very important for you to considering that you are of course studying the language, and it's an added benefit. Always look at it in a way that that adding a language to your profile is nothing but adding a boost to what you will be showing your your future employers or anyone who you will be joining. But considering that this program is something that is available to all of you, on the other hand, there is also higher education opportunities that all of you can consider. Of course, this program definitely helps you in terms of getting that experience, plus, of course, the language skills and things like that. But speaking a little bit about the higher education, because I represent the education wing of the French Embassy in India. It's called Campus France. If you do Google Campus France India, you will find all our details online. A couple of things with respect to the opportunities that you have as an Indian student. Of course, we all have a lot of misconceptions with respect to what you need or what kind of qualifications you need to be studying in France. I think most of the students who I speak to, they say that don't we need to know French to study in France? It's a common misconception along with a few others as well, which I'll just briefly speak about. The first thing is you don't need to know French to study in France, because there are over 1700 programs which are entirely taught in English. Now, these programs, like France is known for its fashion and culinary. It's not limited to that. There are courses available in the management business, which specializes in, like I said, fashion, luxury, strategy, consulting, business development, and multiple other things as well. Finance, of course. On the other hand, there is also, on the engineering side, it covers English taught courses in computer science, AI, ML, data science, aeronautics, aerospace. So basically any kind of program that you're looking for other than the medical side is all taught in English. So from your academic interview that you give the institute, your application, as well as for the scholarships, you don't need a level of French. But of course, it's an added benefit for you when you are living there, so that you can speak the language and obviously use it for your your employment or internships that come up later. So a few things with respect to the benefits that students receive when you are studying over there. I know you all think that because the euro is touching 91 rupees, it might be very expensive to study there, but the government gives you a lot of ways to budget out your stay in France and of course make it as affordable as possible. One very important thing is that there is an MOU that is signed between India and France, which basically states the first point that the degrees that you do are equal. So if you do any degree in India, it's valid in France, and the degree that you do in France is valid in India for employment opportunities, either in the private or the public sector. The second point of that MOU, very specific to us, is there are 500 scholarships reserved only for Indian students. So, of course, when you are applying for these government scholarships, you're not competing on a worldwide basis, but of course within India, and you also have higher chances. These scholarships are not reserved for private, public institutes or particular streams as such. It's open for everyone. So any type of course that you choose, any type of institute that you choose, you're eligible to apply and receive these kind of scholarships. In addition to that, the institutes also give you a lot of benefits in terms of tuition fee waivers for different reasons. Considering that we're all from Asia, you get something called as a diversity scholarship of 10 to 15% off. So they are there to help you to make your stay affordable in France. I think Smriti also spoke about your accommodation and things like that, about the rent that you have to pay. The government has this facility that gives back 20 to 30% of the rent that you pay. So you're making your stay a lot more affordable. The health aspect is covered by the government in terms of the social security that you receive on an international student card. So multiple ways that you can reduce the expenditure that you think you have, and of course make your stay a lot more affordable in France. So to keep it brief, I hope I have opened your eyes to something which is an alternative option for all of you, considering that we only look at the English-speaking countries because maybe our cousins or our friends or someone has studied there. But France has become a very important and a fast-growing option for Indian students now. Now that the French government has opened the doors for 30,000 Indian students in France by 2030. So the doors are open, the opportunities are there. And of course, the post study as well, you get a 2-year stay back visa if you're a master's student. So, multiple benefits that you have if you do choose to study in France. And this is an option that you can use maybe after you do the program, where you go there, you understand the culture, you understand how Europe is in general when you are living there, when you are traveling around. And then you can obviously make a decision to go back to France to study. So to end over here, I just have a quick invite for all of you. On the 27th of October this year, we are hosting our biggest event, which is called the Choose France Tour. Now, this Choose France Tour is going to 5 major Indian cities, also coming to Bangalore on the 27th, like I said, where over 55 to 60 French schools are coming to Bangalore to speak to all of you. So if you are interested to come speak, maybe understand the type of courses or the qualifications that are needed, for you to at least consider an option to study in France, feel free to come. It is at the Lalit Ashok, which is near the golf course here in Bangalore. And I'm sorry, I don't have the QR on the board, but you can log on your phones to choosefrance.in, choosefrance.in. All the list of institutes, whether it's management, engineering, culinary, hospitality, public, all of them are mentioned there. And then it's a quick registration, which is entirely free of cost, that you don't have to pay anything to enter. It's a great place for you to be. Maybe speak to the institutes, come speak to us as well. We'll definitely help you out with your study plan moving forward. So I think that's it. If you all have any questions, feel free to ask. If not, you can always reach out to Campus France, and we'll definitely, help you out with the doubts that you have. Yeah, thank you.
I have a question for Fanny. At the university, we also have courses like certificate, diploma, UG diploma, and PG diploma. That's how we call it. They all are 1-year programs, and each of them in the first certificate level we cover A1 and A2, and in UG we cover B1, and in PG diploma we cover the B2 level. So my question to you is whether our students who do these courses in our university, can they take the DELF exam directly coming to Alliance Française? Just tell it about something about it.
Yes, if you have already studied French and you have studied enough hours to reach B1 level, you can come to IF directly to take the exam. You don't need to study at IF. You can just study here at the university and then come to IF to just take the B1 exam.
This brings us to the end of today's program. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to thank Monsieur Thomas Chaumont, attaché for French language, Institut Français, for bringing in, for putting together such a wonderful team and bringing them here. Thank you, Smriti, project manager, Institut Français, for bringing in the logistics and giving us the details about how to go about this program. Merci, Smriti. I'd like to extend a warm thank you to Fanny Brown for bringing to us the details about the DELF programs, hoping for many more collaborations with the Alliance. Thank you, Alan, for bringing us the personal experience. Students, please make note, explore, experience, and enjoy the French culture with this program, just like Alan. And merci, thank you, Yash, for talking to us about the plethora of opportunities that are available in France for Indian students. And we're looking forward to coming into the Choose France store. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti Venkatesh, for bringing this wonderful opportunity and letting our students know about these programs, and hopefully, yes, We will surely, I think they will all go back and share with their friends, and we will make most of this opportunity. Thank you. Merci. Thank you, students, for being here. Thank you, everyone.